No.
Thank you for joining us for the East Aurora Village Board meeting for April 18th, 2022. If you could join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maureen, could you please do roll call attendance?
Elizakis.
Here.
Trustee Cameron.
Here.
Trustee Vijay.
Here.
Trustee Flynn.
Here.
Trustee Kimmelhart. Trustee Shear.
Here.
Mayor Mercurio.
Present.
6 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the village reorganizational meeting for April 4th, 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen,
Second.
second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the village board meeting for April 4th, 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second,
I'll second.
second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve the payment of abstract for 4/18/22 for voucher numbers 62129 to 62174 for a total of $90,616.07.
So moved.
Moved by Ernie, second,
Second.
second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, this is our first speakers and communications. There will be two, another one at the end of the meeting. If you have something that you would like to comment on, please raise your hand. And when called on, come on up to the microphone, give us your name and address, and tell us what your issue is. Did you had your hands up? Either one of you is fine. Come on up. Whoever wants to go first.
I'm Ellen Newmeyer. I live at 284 Mill Street, because I'm in the village. And what else do you need to know? That's it.
That's
Okay,
it?
That's it. Okay, all right, okay. We're not asking for money. We're not asking you to do anything particularly, except we would love to have a proclamation about No Mo May. And I understand that you have already gotten some information about that.
Don't worry, it's not cutting into your 2 minutes. Go ahead. Ellen.
The reason for this is to protect our pollinators and to give them something to eat when we have weather like this for the next, and actually for the month of May. It has been done in the UK. It's been done in some of the Wisconsin, Michigan towns successfully, and people have been happy with it. I think the UK, they've actually figured out which species of all these bees and butterflies and, that are actually there. That's a big scientific project, but we're just, requesting that we ask people, just let it grow. Let it grow for 4 weeks. And then for the native, most of the native flowers come up early. But they give the pollinators stuff to eat. And that's basically what we want, because we want to eat too. And if they can't eat, we can't eat. In fact, the US Forest Service says the simple truth, we cannot live without them. So human life, really wouldn't exist as we know it. So anyway, that's what I'm asking you to do. Just pass a resolution, try to encourage village residents and on village properties too, where possible. Thank you.
For years, I've had trouble getting around to mowing my lawn in May as it is. So I think I'm already kind of on board. So Ellen, some of the information, we received a lot of emails and information and some studies, which were really, I thought, pretty eye-opening. One of them said the first week you don't mow, the number of bees and pollinators went way up. The second week it went way up, like 9 times what it usually is. Then the third week it kind of dropped off because they thought the lawn grasses were then catching up to the So is that the recommendation then to wait the whole month or just to mow it just once or? I don't want to nitpick. I'm just trying to get it
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I think it's easier to say the month of May.
Yeah.
Mow May is kind of a catchy title. I think that's what they came up with in the UK. A lot depends on the weather, of course, whether things are going to grow fast or slow. But the idea is to, have a few weeks just to let things grow and in their natural state. And I know the advertiser has had the grandest dandelion contest, and they're doing it again. They are supportive of this. There's a group from the UU Church and many of the other churches that are supportive of this. Probably any environmental organization like our ACES group certainly is. And the Sustainability Club at the high school, the kids planted a little garden, a little meadow. It's very small compared to the size of the property there, but it's a start, and they're thinking, and they have to think about their futures. So, and our kids and grandkids, etc.
There are futures.
Great. So I'd be happy to answer questions or anything. I don't know whether you want to do that now or.
Anybody have any questions for Ellen?
I think it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate all the
concur.
information you guys have given us. It's been great.
As a former beekeeper who's
Oh,
now allergic to bees, I know how hard it is for them to survive. It's not easy for honeybees especially. They have so many things going against them. So anything we can do to make their lives easier, provide for them, I think is a good thing.
Thank you. Yes. And now, years ago, they didn't have to take bees in trucks, take the hives to the orchards and, the different fields. But now that's what they do. They have to, all the commercial farmers, they pack them up and they let the bees go back in their hives. And during the night, they drive them to the next orchard or fields, so there've been so many that have been lost. I mean, that's the only reason they have to do that. Where, when I was a kid, they were all over. So,
Well, they've lost a lot of their foraging because of the abuse of Roundup in the fields, the Roundup ready corn. A lot of the farmers around here, like at our summer place out in Wales, the farmer there grows a kind of corn that's called Roundup Ready. It's resistant to Roundup. It'll grow despite being sprayed, but it kills all of the weeds, including the weeds alongside the road. They overspray, and those are all wildflowers, chicory, and milkweed and whatever grows. And those are plants that aren't available to those pollinators anymore. They're gone. They don't have that food. So more and more you see that especially with the big farms, that they tend to use those herbicides that limit their food sources for pollinators.
right. And this is also another thing we really would like to ask people not to use, chemical sprays on their lawns and gardens. There are alternative methods, but we figured, attack one thing at a time. But we certainly include, and the Erie County has the Home for a No, their little no pesticide, lawn signs that you can sign up for. In fact, we'll be doing that the day after Earth Day at Hamlin Park with the Mendel School, and my son is bringing his Swift Rails car there. So it's a form of transportation, but that's another story.
Just student one, to address the one item you also raised, last year, it was discussed and we did put some information up on our website, and I reposted information this spring, quite early, right on our front page that does suggest that people do natural ways to manage their lawns and not necessarily use herbicides and pesticides. So there is a link right on the front page of our website. If you follow it, you can get a lot of information about not using those types of things and instead doing more natural methods of keeping your lawn. So that is all the village is already promoting that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Ellen.
One thing really quick, if anybody's here for the planning board meeting, the town's planning board meeting, it's in the next room. This is the village board meeting, just in case anybody's here for the wrong meeting.
Anybody else?
My time is up.
Yeah, go ahead, you can chime in. Come on up.
Because not only every third bite that we eat is thanks to the bees, but I
Can we
feel,
get, sorry,
Name
can
and
we get
address?
name and address?
name and address, okay, Gina de Jong, 1267 Bourne Drive in the village. We cannot control these days what happens in the world. We can control something so simple as let the bees pollinate, because everybody knows that the breadbasket of Europe is at the moment not available to the world. And by simply letting the bees help feed the people, and we know there are famines in other parts of the world, this is the simplest way we have control, at least in East Aurora. And I hope you spread the word that all the other villages and towns would do the same, because it's so stupid not to take use of this. So that was, and by the way, your wildflowers are blue and yellow, most of them in early spring. What better way to give our support, isn't it?
Mm,
So simple.
Good point, good point. Thanks, Jenna. Anyone else? Okay, we'll have another speakers and communications. You'll have another chance to speak at the end of the meeting. Moving on to official considerations, can I get a motion to appoint Skylar Solom as DPW laborer at a rate of $17.37, starting on or after April 19th, 2022?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Is Skylar here? Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt the 2022-23 village budget, including non-union wage rates?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second?
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Kristen?
Aye.
Grace?
Aye.
Ernie?
Aye.
Molly?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. Motion passes. Budget is adopted. Can I get a motion to adopt the water budget and water rates for 2022-23 budget year?
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? Again, just to be clear, we're passing on the whatever increases the county has sent down to us, correct?
Are doing a couple changes. One is the water rate from the county. And then, give me 1 second. I
Sure.
will tell you the other changes. The debt service cost will go down by $6.69. But the operations and maintenance cost goes up slightly. People who have lines at about an inch or less will end up being pretty much even. If they have lines 1.5 inches or larger, they'll pay up, going upward, more in the operations and maintenance.
And how many total residents is the households? Is it 80? Not households, but residents or customers? It's like 80 to 90?
Are the bigger
Yeah, the
amounts?
bigger ones.
Not even that much.
Yeah, not
It's
even
less.
80.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anyone have any questions or comments?
And it's not really residents, it's mostly businesses.
Mostly business, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna do a roll call vote again. Kristen,
Aye.
Grace.
Aye.
Ernie,
Aye.
Molly,
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
And I am an aye. Motion passes. Water budget and water rates are adopted. Can I get a motion for a resolution to change the clerk treasurer hours and PTO to 8 hours a day?
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
I'll second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve the resolution for the clerk's one-time technology lump payment.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
Grace? Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to give permission for the mayor to sign the tax warrant for the fiscal year 2022, 2023.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Can I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for the East Aurora Fire Department Auxiliary for a public shredding event and chicken barbecue on Saturday, May 21st from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Fireman's Field with the fees waived.
So move.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? Anyone from the EAFD Auxiliary want to tell us about it? Please. Please.
Colleen Scott, 58 Pine Street, East Aurora. Is that better?
Yes, I can hear you great.
Okay. So the EAFD Auxiliary has been looking for service opportunities for the community. Luckily, we don't spend a whole lot of time responding to extended events that come up, which is good. So we have a lot of people eager to find ways to serve the community. So we came up with the idea to have a public document shredding event. Lincoln Archives will bring a truck on site and it's free to the community. We've worked with some area businesses to help us cover the cost. And you can bring your documents down, they load them into the shredding truck and you watch them get shredded. And it's pretty much a drive-through.
You don't have to take your shreddings with you?
Nope,
No?
they take it all away. And paper clips, staples and the like are fine, just no metal strips like the hanging file folder strips. They asked that you remove those. And since we'll have people driving through, we thought we might as well knock out our annual chicken barbecue at the same time. So we'll be having Crowlix chicken dinners available for takeaway as well.
Smart.
And
How busy do you expect it to be? I've never,
so we've
Seen one of
not
these.
done this before, and I've
Yeah.
talked to people who've been to them. I've heard of ones that have not been as well attended, but we're really hoping to get the word out through local media, social media, and some businesses are going to help us distribute flyers like on pizza boxes.
Mhm.
And so we're hoping, I estimated maybe 100 to 200 cars coming through. I'm not really sure. We'd love to fill. They've said they've never filled the truck. So let's fill that truck, you know.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone I've talked to have said, oh, that's great. I have that box of stuff sitting in my home office. A lot of people have been working at home, realized they've
yeah.
accumulated all sorts of nonsense. These things, I mean, they clutter your area, keep you become unorganized. They also pose somewhat of a fire hazard. Having papers sitting around needlessly in your home are paper burns. So it's not something that you need boxes and boxes stacked up in your attic or your basement or your office. So we thought, let's give this a go.
Nice.
Any other questions I can
Anybody
answer?
have any questions for Colleen? All right, thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Good luck.
For someone who's had to pay to have this done, to take them out of my house, this is really great.
Tell your friends, May
Yeah.
21st,
It's a great
let's fill that
service.
truck.
Cool.
All right, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Good luck with your event. I get a motion to give permission to the mayor to sign the fireworks agreement with Skylighters of New York LLC in conjunction with the Town Independence Day fireworks show.
So move.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Kristen. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for the Roycroft Campus Corporation for Founder's Day, June 4th, 2022, from 5:30 to 11 p.m., contingent on receipt of certificate of insurance by the clerk at least 2 weeks prior to the event.
So move.
Moved by Steve, second.
I'll second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? Kurt, would you mind telling us a little bit about it?
Kurt Marento, representing the Roycroft campus. So this is going to be, well, this is a pilot event for us, since non-for-profits are really not doing galas anymore, and people have quite gotten tired of doing galas. So we're trying to make this our annual fundraiser, and we're really trying to make it family friendly. So the event starts at 5:30, and families are invited to come for a barbecue, and then there's going to be several art projects for the kids to engage in, and there's going to be games for the kids to engage in, and there will be light music playing, and that goes from about 5:30 to 8:30. So games, music, and just art projects. And then at about 9:30, the Roycroft Film Society is going to be having a film outdoors, which we do annually, but we're doing it in conjunction. So that movie will play probably from 9:30 to about 11 o'clock. So we're hoping that it's well attended. Right now, our sponsorship for the event has exceeded its goals, which makes the ticket price really inexpensive for families, and just, again, trying to make something really fun for the residents of East Aurora, and then also to draw people in from outside of East Aurora.
So to clarify, it sounds great, by the way, but to clarify, you'll have no portable lavatories there. You will be selling alcohol. People can't bring their own alcohol, right?
That is correct. So, but we have all of our restrooms in all of our buildings open.
That was my question.
So
yeah.
the
you
print shop
figure you're
has,
covered.
yep, ADA
Okay.
compliant restrooms and 2
Yeah.
floors of them. The print shop has its restrooms.
They'll all be
I'm sorry,
available.
the Powerhouse has
Powerhouse,
its restrooms all open also, yes.
Okay.
So, and while there will be some beer and wine being sold, we don't expect a lot, since it's going to be a family friendly event.
It's not your focus.
But then again, you never know. We just don't know what the public is going to do.
And you're gonna have amplified music till 7:30, and then the movie, I assume that's gonna be it'll be amplified till 11:30 then? the
Well,
movie?
yes, it's amplified, but I mean, we've done this annually. We've done this every single year. So, but I don't foresee it being a problem, since it's been approved,
Right. Shane,
in
there's never
past
been,
years.
sorry, there's never, okay. No concerns with that. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, I attended the Erie County Bicentennial events out in that area,
Oh.
and those were great. So it sounds similar, and
Yeah, it's going to be
it'll be a
pretty much
great little
exactly.
event.
Yep. Great.
Where's the movie shown? What side of the buildings?
You know what? Alan usually shows it in front of the Powerhouse. But then last year he did it right in front of the tower of the print shop. So I think it's going to be in front of the Powerhouse, because we'll never be able to clear up the Great Lawn fast enough.
Albert Hubbard used to show
get
movies
the movie.
outside.
Pardon?
Albert Hubbard used to show movies
Yeah, right in
outside.
front of the Powerhouse.
In front of, yeah, also in front of the print shop facing Main Street, where the parking lot is.
Oh,
They
okay.
would hang sheets out the window there.
Yeah.
They had movies. I've seen pictures of it.
Well, we're hoping it becomes a great event, for the village and for the Roycroft.
Sounds like fun. And I love the family theme. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Congratulations. Good luck with your event. I got a motion to approve a temporary use permit for Immaculate Conception Schools for their Fallen Leaves 5K and Fun Run September 24th, 2022. Contingent on receipt of certificate of insurance by the clerk at least 2 weeks prior to the event.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Molly, second.
Second.
By Ernie. Further discussion? Anybody here from the event would like to, hi, want to come on up and tell us a little bit about it?
Hello, my
Hi.
name is Colleen Powers. I live at 295 Bame Road in West Falls. The event will be hosted by Immaculate Conception as a fundraiser for the school. So again, a family-friendly event on a Saturday morning in September, selected so it doesn't interfere with other established village events
Mhm.
at that time. So I'm asking for certain roads to be closed, for about an hour, plus or minus a little bit. All the post-race events will be right at the school property.
All right, Shane, you've seen the route?
Lieutenant Welch has, and it sounds like could be easy to do.
It's not going farther north than Oakwood, right? Not going farther south than south. So it doesn't have to cross Main or any other major artery.
Correct.
Perfect.
See, it's going down Walnut, so we might have to see what's going on with the construction in that area, let them know what's going on.
Good point. Good point.
But I don't see any problem with it. I think we should just give them a little heads up.
Yeah,
It's on a Saturday though.
Right.
Oh, that's true. They shouldn't, they probably won't be working.
as
Okay.
long as they're, yeah, as
All the
long as they know
machines
not
out
to
of the
work
way, yeah.
that Saturday and the equipment's out of the way. Good call. Okay, great. Thank you, Colleen.
Thank you.
Any other comment from the board? All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to schedule a public hearing on May 16th to consider the site plan application of Mud, Sweat and Gears at 669 Main Street, proposing to construct a two-story commercial addition.
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Public hearing is scheduled for May 16th. I get a motion to schedule public hearings on May 16 to consider the following local laws to amend the village code. Chapter 35 taxation, 2, Chapter 285, 52A temporary use permits, and 3, Chapter 171 noise.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Ernie. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, scheduled for May 16. I get a motion to refer to the planning commission on May 3rd, an application for a special use permit to establish an accessory dwelling unit at 144 Sycamore Street.
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved, it's referred. I get a motion to refer to the planning commission on May 3rd, an application for a special use permit for an accessory dwelling unit at 472 Girard Ave.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Steve. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. It's referred to the planning commission for May 3rd. I get a motion to approve the budget adjustments for the 2021-2022 fiscal year.
So moved.
Moved by Steve, second.
I'll second.
Second by Molly. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. We get a motion for permission to approve permission to advertise a bid for roof replacement project for the Players Building in Hamlin Park.
So moved.
Moved by Kristen, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? Kathy, you or Matt? Want to tell us about that? Okay.
We have to bid it at this point to see what the cost is gonna be. The engineers gave us a preliminary estimate of about 200,000. We put 100,000 aside for it. So we need to see what else we're gonna need. Did they, we find that our current engineers go a little higher, so is it gonna be a little lower? What are we looking at? What do we have to budget for the rest of it?
Right.
And then anything technical, you'll need to ask Matt.
Okay. So Matt, it's a complete tear off and redo, right? I mean, over the years, they've brought me and others of us in there to see the water leaking into the costume room, the squirrels and water leaking onto the fuse box. So the squirrels weren't leaking on the fuse box. They were chewing around and stuff in there. I don't know what they were doing in there, actually. I really didn't watch them. But it's a mess and it needs a roof. I know there's some issues with the handicap ramp on the side and some ice buildup. So what can you tell us about it?
We're looking at doing a complete tear off and reinstallation of the same style roof. It'll be an architectural asphalt shingled roof. And hopefully there's not a lot of damage under the existing roof that we'll get into when we tear it off.
Are they gonna do like
They have to do all the
the
decking.
decking? Yeah.
Sheeting.
I don't believe so. There's gonna be some fascia boards that are gonna need to be replaced at that time, but I believe the sheeting is still in fairly decent shape.
Does this include all the gutters and drainage needed to?
there aren't any gutters on that building.
Nothing?
No.
Anybody have any questions? All right. Moved by Kristen, second by Grace. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. I get a motion to approve a temporary use permit for Music Fest to be held Saturday, June 11th from 2 to 11 PM.
So move.
Moved by Ernie, second. Second by Steve. Further discussion? Somebody from the, is the applicant like to tell us about it a little bit? Thanks, John.
Some highlights. Changes that we've made this year.
Thank you.
John. Good, thank you, buddy. Always, my whole life.
Hi, thanks.
There you go.
My name is John Venezia, founder and president, East Aurora Music Fest. This will be our 8th year. We've given away close to $750,000. And we hope to have another big year this year. 2019 was a little rough, right, Shane? So a lot of these changes that we've made, not a lot, but some major changes is to address that situation. So as you can see, we're gonna have 15 venues with 50 bands spread out throughout the village, as always. We're gonna have 8 shuttle buses. The music will stop at 9 or 9:30, except the rink will stay open till 10. Now, a little caveat on that is Misters is planning on having their own music after our show ends at 8:30. So Never Been will be playing till midnight. I will keep some extra security guys down on that end of town till midnight. Although he's responsible for that, I will be glad to cover that just to make things safer. I've got 20 security officers hired, ready to go. I can add more if needed. I've ordered 100 porta potties. 10 of those are handicap accessible. Bison Cleaning will be cleaning the village that night, as they did in 2019 and did a very good job. I'm gonna have them stay a little later though this year. The recipients: Aurora Adult Day Services, Friends of Knox Park, Kaylee Kindness, the EA Basketball and Little League Football, and Lorraine Therapeutic Writing. So any questions?
So you used to use Amherst Security, right?
I did
A few years back.
like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they weren't very good.
Has it been Excelsior ever since?
No, this will be the first year.
Okay.
Yeah, and I met with him and they're very, very impressive.
No,
Yeah. So
I'm gonna stay till the end.
Are they
Yeah.
mostly law enforcement, off-duty law enforcement?
they are Homeland Security, things like that.
Good.
Yeah, and they're gonna be uniformed. They're gonna have, they're gonna be carrying, not all of them, but some will be carrying as well. So we did last time.
Yeah. Did you want to mention the sidebar agreement you had with the bars about the closing time?
Oh, yeah, actually, thanks Shane for reminding me. This is a biggie, actually. I don't know, I forgot to tell you guys. All the venues have agreed to close at midnight this year and actually shut down and go home. So this really should help the lingering people hanging out. I'm sure people will still be hanging out in the street, but I assume the roads will be back open. What time do you think, Matt, for opening Riley and Elm that night? Like right after music stops at 10, so shortly after that. Okay, so that should help disperse the crowds too.
Yeah, that was one thing I did ask John to look into. The problems we've had in past years where 2 establishments would stay open until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning that night. And everybody that should have went home 3 hours earlier stayed for those 2 establishments and caused all sorts of ruckus and mayhem. So John was willing to talk to all the owners, and apparently they all agreed to shut down at midnight, which is still a long day, but taking 3 or 4 hours off that detail will be nice.
And nothing good happens after midnight anyway in the
No.
bars.
Not that night.
I don't want to be up till 2 AM cleaning up the streets either, so.
Yeah. How about the parking situations like on Riley? There's tenants now in that building where there weren't before.
Yeah, actually, we have permission from Fisher Price to use their lot.
Oh, you do? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Nice, great.
Yep. And they're on the certificate of insurance as well.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah.
Then we have the street parking on Riley, and then how about like, actually the hardware store, when do they close on a Saturday? Maybe 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
They're not closed, so you might want to speak to them and
Yeah.
let them
That's what I'm
be aware
thinking.
of that situation,
Talk
because
talk to
Yeah.
Manny.
nobody's getting to the hardware store that day.
They've
Yeah,
got dedicated
yeah.
spots
Well,
though.
they have the 3 spots. in
They
front,
have, yeah, the whole.
We
bunch that-
closed down, well, we closed the Riley Street side of that parking lot.
Ah,
Oh,
So,
that's right.
and it fills up very quickly that day and stays full the entire time.
Yeah, the parking is for their business. I mean, they own that
Absolutely.
lot,
Yeah,
and
the
so,
Fillmore side is open for access,
right.
but yeah, I'll give them a heads up just so they know what's going on.
You should definitely talk to Manny and
Who is it?
negotiate. Manny is the owner.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Navigate that ahead of, it's always good to get ahead of it, you know?
Absolutely.
Okay.
yeah. I'll take care of
Thanks.
that. Sure.
But
Thank you,
yeah, this
everyone.
is a great event.
Oh,
And
thanks,
thank you
Ernie.
for addressing all these needs and thank you for the charity. You know, the donations to community. What was it, a $250,000 now? What are you up to with
Oh, no,
over
we're
the years?
$750,000.
$750,000 now? Yeah, it's just fantastic.
Gave away 185,019. We're very proud of that.
Nice.
Mhm.
Now, I know one of the issues that probably frustrate you is people buy the wristbands, right? So they can go, and some people just show up and kind of bounce around and stay outside of it, never contribute to the charities, but still
Yeah,
benefit from the event. Have you any tweaks or changes to try and address that?
not a lot you can do with that.
Yeah,
We do have online wristband purchasing now too, so it makes it easier. We raise the price a little, but sometimes that doesn't help anything, because then that makes them wanna come and show up and not pay even more. So not a lot we can do. I got a lot of security guys that are gonna be roaming around too, though. and
Yeah.
I'll tell them to enforce, keep moving.
Mhm.
No wagons or anything will be allowed in the rink. That'll all be fenced off.
Mhm.
So you
Okay.
can't bring your beer in there with your wagon and, backpacks full of beer and all
Right.
that.
Mhm.
good.
I think the one thing in here is the DPW supplying additional garbage cans for the event.
Yep.
Okay. You know where those are all gonna go.
Yeah.
I know when I went a couple years ago, I left my bike at the bike lock at the Fisher Price thing, and I walked up the next morning and picked up 18 beer cans along Gerard. So maybe get a clean sweep of the village right after
Yeah, that's the plan.
ancillary streets too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think these are some really great changes. I mean, that's pretty comprehensive to address a lot of the problems that have been there. I'm really happy with this.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions for John? Thank you,
Good.
John.
Appreciate your support.
All right, moved by Ernie, second by Steve. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, did anybody want to add anything regarding No Mo May? This would be the time to do it.
Yes. Can I make a motion that the village supports this or is a proud supporter of it?
Sure.
And then Kathy and I talked a little bit. I don't know if the village has a budget, if we could get small signs made, similar to the ones that, True Green would put in your yard that say you have pesticide in your yard. Maybe instead we have a small sign that says No Mo May that residents could put in their yard, or we could use in any of the village parks if we're not gonna mow pieces of the parks at all.
I said we definitely could find some money in the budget to accommodate that. So did you want to make them, well, first of all, just start like Hamlin Park. We're suggesting that the one part of Hamlin Park that's not used this time of year is the football field. So we're thinking that even for Hamlin Park, that part could participate, and Matt and I will also, of course, discuss this, and we can let the highway department know about that. Otherwise, the rest of the park really should be mowed because there's events in the Kiwanis Lodge, and the baseball field and playground and players. So we think that should all remain mowed. along with the circle, traffic circle and a small pocket park where the statue is.
Mhm.
But other than that, Matt has also offered that, the Casanova Sanctuary up there on South, that could not get mowed for May, and all around our DPW, and.
Fireman's Field?
Fireman's Field,
Fire.
and Shane even said he would, if we didn't mow a few blades of grass in our building on Main Street. So we can get signs on our property. Do we want to have signs up and say, we can give them away?
I don't know that we can do that.
Can we-
Chris.
Is that a gift to public?
It
funds?
almost, they almost should, you know, like the group who was talking about, it should almost do the signs and sell them and use the money.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
sell them for
that's not a bad
$5 as a
idea.
fundraiser or something, $10 as
Yeah.
a fundraiser.
Are they part of ACES? Because we can coordinate with them.
ACES is a separate group from the village.
Right.
No, but
But I'm
though
saying
they were
that-
both in the.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, I'm sorry, yes, those are ACES.
Because I was thinking if they did make a sign, we could say proudly supported by the village.
Sure. Yeah. Put it on our website.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a proclamation?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want to write up a proclamation?
The mayor's proclamation, sure.
Okay. I don't have to write it up though, do I?
No.
Okay, good.
Have you ever?
I don't think I ever have.
I think that's what I do. And I should-
Yes, what is that called? Somebody who writes for someone else?
Ghostwriter.
Ghostwriter, that's right.
Works out for me. My lawnmower died, so. I could put
Perfect.
off- I could- Seriously, I could put off buying a mower for another month.
Your sign will say no mo 2022.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll have something on our website. We'll do that with Hamlin Park and Fireman's Field and Cass Creek. Okay, and you'll work up a proclamation for us. All right,
Awesome.
so that's all part of Grace's motion.
I'll second.
Second by Kristen. All those in favor, or any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Approved. Moving on to new business. We have our ARPA spending plan. Maureen, would you like to chime in on that?
Yes. So we have about $600,000 to spend with our ARPA funds. And we were looking at a couple projects to do with those funds. Matt needs a street sweeper. He's been asking for it. It was in the budget. We had to cut it out of the budget to not increase the budget too much. So we're looking at $285,000-ish for the street sweeper. The tennis courts are something that I know you guys were looking to do. That's about $210,000. The player's roof is gonna come in more than the 100,000. So somewhere between, $1 and 100,000 more, we're gonna need for the player's roof. The basketball court, to move it and adjust it to the right way, would be about $70,000. So that is just above the $600,000 that we're getting. I'm sure we can find a way to get the rest of it through other budget lines. But those are kind of the projects we're suggesting at this point. We did have, you guys can choose to do a water project instead. There was a water project presented previously, but I think the biggest change came about with Matt really needing that street sweeper. And I know that's a big deal in the village when our street sweeper is down.
Mhm.
A lot of people are very unhappy.
I think we all heard about it last year.
Very unhappy, yes. And we did try to fix it last year. We spent a good amount of money trying to fix it, and it's, needs to be repaired further, so.
Matt, do you know what the lead time on getting one is?
If we order it now, we should have it late fall.
Were there any other projects that didn't make the list that?
So I just kind of was looking at the things that were being talked about.
Oh, okay.
So I just go by what what I've heard you guys talk about. So these were the kind of ones that I kind of fit into that dollar amount.
Gotcha.
Again, water was the other project that would take the whole amount completely to do the water project. So the water project is one option, and that is East Fillmore, Matt? Yes, East Fillmore, or doing all of these things. We kind of switched to doing these only because we really needed the street sweeper and you couldn't do the water project
And the sweep.
and the sweeper. So this is kind of the outline that we came up of the additional money. The street sweeper partly goes with some of the water stuff, so we can probably pull a little bit out of there. So that's just one of the things we're proposing for you. We don't need to know today, I think, on some of them, but I know Matt wants to get that street sweeper ordered. So I guess, he'd like to know what you guys think about this plan earlier than we necessarily need the rest of it. But I do know that if you want to get the tennis courts and the basketball court done this season, you'd probably want to vote on that sooner than later. So it's really up to you on what, your timeline, but that's kind of where we are.
I guess I'm new, so I'm just trying to get a handle
I
on
understand.
how these capital projects come to you and how they're prioritized, so that.
Originally, when I got here, we had a capital plan of projects. We've now finished all of those and we're looking to have hopefully a capital committee meeting to now lay out more. These are.
Oh, yeah, I'm on that committee. That'd be good.
Yeah, so
I would-
these-
yeah, so I
we'll
just
be
figure
having
out
one of
what's going
those.
on. Okay,
These projects, so all the Clark items were on the Hamlin master plan,
right. I saw
which
those.
was the one item that's really hanging out there because we knew we couldn't pay the 5 million all at once and we needed to ding away at items one at a time. So the tennis courts, the roof at the players and the basketball court, were things we needed to ding off our list. And then the street sweeper came about because again, we tried to fix it. It just really isn't working and we really need to get a new one.
Right. Okay, so I guess just my question would be then, if that roof came up at 200, now you're 136 over, so would the basketball drop out or how would that?
We already
all
have
play out?
100 aside for the roof. So this would be the second 100 if
Oh,
it's
okay.
actually needed. So if we only need
So we might
50.
actually need less than that.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if we need less, and we end up having money left over at the end, I'll be coming back to you with other ideas for spending the remainder of that
Well, it
money.
could cut into that 36 that you're over.
Yep, it can cut into
Right.
that, or if any of these other come in at a different price than what we have estimated, that's a possibility. If any of them, but again, if any of them come in lower, at the end, we have a time to decide on how the money is spent. So at that point in time, we can represent in front of you what to spend that money on.
So besides the sweeper, these all have to go out to bid anyways. You're gonna have to get estimates on them. anyways, right?
Everything has to go out to bid.
Right,
We
so-
have to follow the laws of the rules for ARPA, not necessarily the village's rules.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
what do you have?
Oh, that's helpful. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, the tennis courts would not necessarily have to go out to bid because we're looking at doing them in-house.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the basketball court. We'd be using things on the county bid along with our DPW labor. That's how we were keeping it as low as we were
Lower.
on cost because they were way more if we did go out and get the whole project done.
That makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Sure. Yeah, I'd say that this is also consistent with the philosophy that the capital committee has always had of trying to get done, the major projects that need to get done, the infrastructure that nobody sees, and also those quality of life improvements, things like the tennis courts and the roof and the basketball court. We really haven't been able to do that in recent years because we had the Oakwood project and we had the culvert. I mean, there were major things that needed to get done. That meant you couldn't do the nice thing. So it is, this is very much in line with
So
what
do
we
you
discussed
guys
before.
just do a list annually of like, these are the 5 things we want to do if there's money and then go from there?
It's really, when we did this before, we had multi-phase, 5-year, 10-year kind of look ahead. And that, that is what we will be getting back to. It got kind of sidetracked by some of the emergencies and then the pandemic.
Okay.
But now that we've got some money, that's something we're gonna look at again.
Can
So
we-
meeting soon.
Do we have one on the calendar yet for the capital committee?
We will have one on the calendar now that we have a new board.
Very good.
I would like to add, I would love to see, to do again what Kristen talked about.
Absolutely.
And also kind of try to plan in a rotation of buying big equipment opposed to bonding for big equipment, because the amount of money we
Good.
pay in interest
Interest,
on bonding
right.
equipment, we really do, if we plan accordingly, have the ability to plan
some money,
and save the
right.
money and buy the money. And I think that, our budget this year just shows that that's kind of the path we're on to be able to do all of that.
Yeah, I think that's something we've been very much working towards with, police car rotations and the snowplow rotations and things like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, the less you have to bond, it's always better.
Always.
Yep.
Something else that gives us a little flex when the numbers are all coming in is I know with the research we've done, the basketball court, they usually go north-south, so the sun isn't in anyone's eyes. And where it's located is very close to the children's area, the playground. We've had a lot of the Hamlin Park plan that with the surveys, a lot of people talked about the older kids playing ball or the adults, sometimes they're swearing and the little kids are in the playground. So the idea to move it from where it is, because it's like it's breaking down around the side. It's now like an ankle, a health risk. To move it from where it is over there, basically in the park, if you can picture that.
Yep.
That is like 70,000 with the DPW doing some of the underlayment work, right? The other option would be just to resurface it, which I think came in between 10 and 15,000 to resurface it. And maybe I think new boards around there too. So, we could always leave it where it is, but if we can, it would be nice to move it over into that space. You wouldn't lose any trees. And then we'd have that buffer between the courts and the playground. And maybe that might be where the splash pad or something goes for smaller kids. Just so you kind of know how the conversations have been going.
I think
Yeah,
you do
I
it
saw that in
right.
that report.
Do it right, because then it's there for decades and go north, south. I mean, it's, people use it, people want to use it.
Yeah, the court gets a lot of use.
Yeah, I mean, why spend why spend a good chunk and not get what you want out of it?
It's never been right.
No, we've
I
got a
know
lot of
people- I know
feedback on
people
it.
who play basketball on there, and they've always complained to me that it's just not, the orientation is
Mhm.
incorrect. And as a parent, when I had little kids and I'd sit over in the playground and, you'd have these people over in the court and they, their language came out there. It was just, it was uncomfortable sometimes, but,
When the balls go over there.
oh yeah, it's just not a good setup.
All right, so we'll have a capital committee meeting coming up.
Yes.
We've got new members on that,
Mhm.
and it'll be nice to see what they come up with, and we'll continue the discussions as we bid these projects out.
Yep.
Anything else on the ARPA spending?
Do you want to approve that for the ARPA spending? Do you want to wait we can't do anything until we know what you want to spend it on. I don't know what.
So what are you saying? You're saying make a motion to approve the ARPA spending plan as we've sketched it out, and then if
to
we
go to
can
bid.
get, money from someone else to help pay for a sweeper, that kind of thing, then that frees that money up for other
Yeah.
projects that the capital committee comes up with down the road.
I guess maybe Chris has to help me on this one. I'm thinking I would like the board to make a motion for us to look into those 4 items, to put a quote together to be able to purchase those 4 items. I mean, I don't, or do I need them to just approve us to move forward on those 4 items?
Well, you're not seeking them to authorize the expenditure of the funds yet, or are you?
No, not yet, but if Matt wants to order the street sweeper and he can't order the street sweeper without knowing that they're going to allot that money for that purpose. So until I have something saying that that's what they're gonna allot this money for, I can't let anybody do a PO, anything.
May
We
I
could get
suggest you
quotes.
just do that one right now?
Yeah.
They
then-
can, that is
And then
definitely an
you
option.
put the rest of the list together, that's,
To do a motion next time?
yeah.
Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
That
So-
way Matt can order now.
Okay.
So we're gonna
Sooner the
approve
better.
that and then get more information on the other 3 to get costs on those? You get
We
estimates
do
on those?
have some costs. I do have to verify that we meet all the requirements of ARPA for the tennis courts and the basketball court, and then the players' roof. I know we are doing that by rule. So we'll know that after the bid. So that'll be next meeting anyways. So I should be able to have a resolution for the next meeting for those items pre-written. But unless you want to wait for the street sweeper till next meeting, you could try to
Well,
approve
it's
them.
it's for fall. Why don't we do them all?
Yeah,
together?
let's do them all.
Okay. So he can't
Right.
order it until then. So that's
Well,
fine.
I'm just saying, we're not gonna get it till the fall anyway, so there's 2 more weeks, Matt.
Yeah, because he can't order it until then, so I don't know how far it would throw it off. He doesn't know until we order it.
So the question really is,
2 weeks.
Yeah, if we're gonna get them a sweeper regardless of what the cost is what we're saying. If we let
Yeah,
them go
are we
order
getting
it.
bids on this first, or is there a pre-approved bid, like the state bids?
It is,
or
it is on Sourcewell, and that's where we got the money, the price for
the
this.
price?
The only thing is that we do have to see if ARPA accepts Sourcewell. If it doesn't, we would have to go to bid. And then if the bid came in higher than Sourcewell, we could cite that we bid it and Sourcewell was lower, and then we would go with Sourcewell.
Okay.
Shouldn't we find all that out before we just approve it? I mean, 2 weeks. Can you find all that information out before we do this?
We can't bid it before then.
No,
It'll
I
take
get
longer
I
than that.
understand- I understand that.
But
part.
yes, I can know if.
Just verify that Sourcewell is
Yeah.
approved
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
You all, I would also recommend that you consider, even if Sourcewell is approved, that you might want to think about bidding, because you never know how the prices are going to be. Sourcewell.
Mhm.
That would, again, that would
Can-
have an impact on your timing, because it takes time to put something up for bid. But, and you have to put together your specifications and everything else, unless you feel like your pricing is, I don't know what we know about pricing. I guess we could look at maybe other places in the area who replaced bids recently. But I don't know what pricing, pricing has gone so crazy on everything so quickly. It's hard to compare. Just something else to think about.
And Matt, you're using the town's sweeper, you're borrowing that in the interim?
Yeah, when we do need to use it, Dave's been generous enough to loan it to us. Our sweeper is up and working at the moment, but it needs constant attention to keep it going.
All right, so have everything in a nice little package for next meeting? All right, everybody good with that?
Okay.
Thank you, Marie.
All right, that's new business. Second, speakers and communications. Anyone from the public want to chime in on anything? Please raise your hand. Okay. And department head report, Shane?
A couple things. We had the bunny hop on Saturday, well attended even in the snow. No issues with that. We're in our second week of testing the proposed radio system through SAIA Communications. And so far the testing shows a fantastic improvement over our current system. But I want to get as many officers as possible to play with the new radios and take it to, maybe they know of a location that I don't, that there's radio issues. So we're trying to get everybody involved in testing. So probably another week and we'll move forward with a decision from there.
So Shane, do they have their old radios and the new system? And SAIA's got everything up on the poles that they need to have for the infrastructure. And so they have both and they're trying them out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not using the new radios for the regular police work that they're doing right now.
Right.
They're taking an extra portable with them. And when they're not on a call, they can go to different locations, go inside buildings, go out wherever and test them with dispatch.
Mhm.
Dispatch has one of the radios, just a portable in the station. And we've had great success with that. And that's just portable to portable. Once we have the base stations in place and mobile units and cars with the portables, it'll be even better. So it's working out great so far. I've been working with our phones company. We're trying to come up with a more reliable backup than having if Vaspian has an issue with our phone system going down, instead of transferring all of our non-emergency calls to one of our department cell phones, we're looking into now is having Vaspian. They're going to come out on Wednesday and take a look. We have a separate landline phone system for the elevator, for the emergency phone in the elevator. Vaspian thinks they can use that phone line for the elevator and for our backup line. So if their system goes down, they can route our calls through the telephone line to our phone system, which would be a great backup, much more reliable than using one cell phone. So we're working on that. The officers over the weekend caught some budding artists with some spray cans throughout Hamlin Park over the weekend. They met up with some of Matt's employees today to help clean up their spots through the park, and I guess did a great job, except took a little extra paint off with the cleaning supplies. So they're gonna come back through Matt and repaint that in the near future. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Shane. Matthew?
The street sweeper has been out periodically, and our yard waste drop off is open on Saturdays from 9 to 2 from now through the end of October. And we'll be putting up banners, I would imagine sometime middle of May for the high school students for graduations.
Nice, so we'll do mid-May to mid-June. And then while the brackets are up, we're gonna leave 22 of them up in the historic end of town and transition the high school banners that we give to the kids, but that the PTO gives to the kids. We're gonna put up the veterans banners. We've got a sampling of 22 of those. They're two-sided, so it's 44 veterans total. And so while the brackets are up, they're gonna put some of those up just to try and get more awareness and more people to opt in to honor their veterans on those banners and fill the rest of the village up with them. We've got until what, maybe Independence Day?
Yeah,
Leave them up maybe 3 weeks?
that'd be fine. I've had requests from some people that the banners are spread out from the circle all the way up to the business district instead of just having them all clustered in one area.
Oh, okay. Like every third pole or whatever it works out to?
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever improve and shows the best visibility for them, I guess. Thanks for doing that, Matt. Anything else? Matt? Okay, Roger?
This past March, the East Aurora Fire Department responded to 10 fire alarm activations, 4 mutual aid requests, 3 transformer fires, 5 miscellaneous calls for service, 2 assistance requests, 1 motor vehicle accident, and 1 carbon monoxide detector activation. The EAFD also assisted AMR on 59 first aid calls. This coming weekend, April 23rd and 24th, is Firefighter Recruit New York around the state. We will be conducting our recruit class 2022 on Saturday the 23rd from 10 to noon at Fireman's Field. They will be doing interior evolutions in the smokehouse, and the public is invited. Please check out our Facebook page for more details. Thank you.
Thanks, Roger. Appreciate everything you do, and it's nice to kind of tell the public everything you guys do, all the stuff you're involved in. I think people, sometimes you just hear a siren fire off in the distance and you don't realize, that it's 20 or 30 people scrambling around, getting out there, doing good things and keeping us all safe. So thanks for everything you and your team does.
Thank you.
How's AMR been? Have they been spending more time at the station, or are they still coming from Transit and Seneca Street?
Yeah, I have a report,
Okay, good.
but yeah, that's got to be discussed. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you're keeping track of our response times and everything too. All right. I look forward to that report. All right. Code enforcement is not here. Anything you want to say for them?
There was one thing actually on the normal May. There is, we don't actually have a local ordinance, it's a state ordinance for not letting the grass get too high. It's actually 10 inches is that, so we don't anticipate that that's going to be an issue, or by the time someone might make a complaint, by the time it got to anything close to the end of the month. Probably wouldn't be efficient because June would be here before we know it. So that's why I just did have a little discussion with Liz about that today. So she had a couple of other comments.
Thank you. Kathy?
And then, a number of us did attend the July 3rd planning meeting with the town for the independence. It was July 4th Independence Day celebration on July 3rd, which is a Sunday. So that is planned. You did the fireworks tonight. So obviously, this is the first time that the new person, Megan Tent, at the Recreation Department is heading up that effort. So she has a lot of notes from when Elaine had done it in the past. So it's pretty well all coordinated. I know that, again, fire, police, everybody represented at the meeting. So hopefully we'll all go off without a hitch and we'll have good weather also.
Very good. Thank you, Kathy. Maureen?
Preparing for taxes, getting that ready for, to go out next month. And Mary Ann and I were away at the GFOA conference, did a lot of good training there. One of the biggest things I'm sure you'll see from me, it's a long-term project, but you'll see from me eventually is I know I channeled the mayor and went to the succession planning training because that's what he's been talking about since I got here. While all the clerks are cross-trained with all the AP and payroll, so they can all help each other with all of that, they suggested get a more in-depth manual than I have. We have, each person has their own. I guess we're looking to put it all together and kind of have it as one cohesive unit instead of each person separate. So somebody's got a lovely task of getting that together.
Thank you, Jessica.
And we'll get that going. So in case any of us drop off the face of the earth, we have something written down.
Perfect. They used to call it the bread truck scenario, right? If you get hit by a bread truck, does your coworker know how to do your job? Right. So that's why cross training was always so important to me from the beginning. Thank you so much. Trustees, Kristen?
Had a tree board meeting. Arbor Day is coming up, 150th year of Arbor Day. Tree board is again planting trees up at the high school with the help and manual labor of some of the high school students. On Arbor Day, so that's Friday, April 29th, and trees donated from the Rotary and Garden Club. So thanks for sure to them.
Can I just
Yeah.
ask, now that you brought that up, thanks for bringing that up.
Sure.
Arbor Day, I usually go to that.
Mhm.
I'll be out of the state
Okay.
that day. So is anybody else available? I mean, you could all go. if you
Usually
wanted
during
to,
a
but-
school day, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's a
it's
Friday at. usually like
11:15
Yeah,
a.m.
11
that's
o'clock,
tough to
yeah.
get
Yeah,
there
that's-
for work if you have a job, so.
I was planning on going, but I work from home and live around the corner.
I wish they could do it like 3 o'clock, 3:30. I could do that, but they have to do it when the kids are there, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The kids all come out and they all talk. It's great. They all.
It
like,
is,
not all,
it's a
but
neat thing.
Yeah, there's a group of kids who come out and they each have a little talk about their area of expertise and
Mhm.
they plant some trees and it is nice.
What's that date? I think it's April 29th.
There is
Friday.
already prepared a mayor's resolution, or excuse me, proclamation. So if you want to sign that, is on your desk. Nice
And
job.
then Kristen, you can present it.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can get
Great.
this and she can present it on your behalf.
And anybody else who can go, Grace, if anybody else can make it.
Yeah, I'm in New York that day. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, I'm out of town.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks.
And the only other thing other than that, I think the 10,000 trees, we've been talking about that for a while. The form is now up and running. That is also available on the Village Tree Board Facebook page. And I think hoping to get it added onto the tree board village page, village website.
A link for the village website
Yeah.
to the tree board's Facebook page.
Well, to the 10,000 trees form. So
counter,
it's
yeah.
for anybody who's planting a tree to say, hey, I'm planting a tree in the village or in the town. This is what size, or this is what kind of tree it is, things like that. So kind of a neat goal for the community.
Mhm.
All part of being a tree city.
That's it.
So that's all I got.
Thank you, Kristen. Grace?
Well said.
Okay. Ernie?
All set.
Molly?
Not here.
Steve?
I'm all set.
All right. We've been doing our PBA negotiations. That's still ongoing. We'll update you as soon as we have more info on that. And with that, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Moved by Steve, second.
Second.
Second by Grace. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming.
That was